Hurry up!
Hi, I'm Jomo.
And I'm Kyle. And this is the Time Attack video game video show.
The only video game show on the internet.
That's right.
And today, we're discussing Claymates.
For the Super Nintendo.
That's right. It was made in 1993, released for the European audience. But it was later released in 1994 in the spring for North America.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in Famicom, Super Famicom. No Japan for this one.
I guess that's odd, but
A little.
it's usually the other way around.
Yes. And then, you know what? Dare I say they might be missing out.
Okay.
Or did. You know.
Well, we'll get into that. So for those watching, this is our first episode. The gimmick of the show is that we're going to set a timer that goes for 15 minutes. So that's how long we're going to talk about the game. Not a second more, not a second less.
Man, that's where it stops.
So I guess, Jomo, whenever you're ready.
All right. Thanks, Kyle. We're off. All right.
All right, so first thoughts.
Well, I didn't think I would like it. It looked kind of like a weird game. I thought of Clay Fighters immediately once I saw Claymates. Being on the Super Nintendo, it seemed odd that this game was that old. So, yeah, I just didn't think I liked it. But as soon as I started playing it, I really started to enjoy it. It was charming.
Huh. Yeah, I guess that's a good word for it. So, yeah, again, it's a 2D platformer, kind of like Mario. Mm-hmm. With different power-ups. The gimmick is you are a ball of clay, your boy, who's been transformed into a ball of clay.
Well, yes, it starts very serious. I mean, I think his father is taken away. Or
kidnapped by this, tiki warrior.
Yeah, he just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he's turned into a blob of some type, a clay. And he's quite courageous, actually. He's like, I don't care if I'm a blue clay ball. I'm gonna save my father, and I'm gonna get this serum. Which I don't even know what this serum's all about, actually.
Well, he has to save his father. Then I don't want to spoil it too much because I have actually beat the game.
Oh, you actually got all the way.
I did get all the way through it, and there's a wrinkle near the end, which we'll get into, I guess, once we get to the spoilers. But
yeah.
I guess my first impression is I do like the charming look of it.
Yeah.
And at first I had no issues, but as I played it more, a few little things cropped up that I didn't enjoy. For starters, I found the placement of the power-ups kind of random. Like you get the duck power-up,
yeah,
and you turn into the duck at a section immediately where there's a jump that's incredibly difficult to make with the duck. Whereas if you were just a standard ball of clay, it'd be easy to make that jump.
I have to just say, the duck seems to be the most useless transformation. It's just, I'm happy I'm something else, so I don't die from what.
It's an extra hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But could you fly with him? I was
Yes,
trying to
you
press
could.
buttons.
You
I
had
thought
to
I
run.
could. I was on the right track, but I just couldn't seem to pull it off.
It took me a while too. It's kind of like the raccoon tail in Mario 3.
Okay.
Where you have to run and then I think tap the button the jump button to fly. And he kind of, just like the rat or anything else, he goes way too fast and way out of control instantly. And the one time I used it successfully, I got into the roof of a building and there was tons of gems and not much else.
Yeah. One thing that stood out for me, which might be a bad indication of the game's impression on me, was the bonus levels. I really enjoyed them.
Oh, gosh, really?
Well, I did. I mean, it made you feel real good. Did you get to the bonus level where, literally, you're bouncing all over the place and you get 17 lives?
I hated that with a fiery passion. I liked the lives.
Yeah.
But the bouncing was insane and and it went on for 10 minutes. It's either get to the end or bounce around, and you might as well bounce around because there's so many lives to collect.
Oh yeah,
and I'm just sitting there bouncing and get over there. He just wouldn't go where he needed to go.
I treated it like a game of pinball at that point, where I'm like, wow, I'm racking up these points. I'm almost at 500,000 points just from this bonus round, and it was really funny. It was quite a contrast. You finish that bonus round by getting all the letters. You have to get a C.
Kong.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I suppose it's Kong. It's Clay in this case. Yep, totally different.
That's what surprised me. I didn't know the date. So when you just said it was 1993, I think Donkey Kong Country was 94. So this actually predates that, despite how much it reminded me. Not gameplay-wise, but the idea of using clay models turned into 2D sprites to make that look is kind of similar to how Donkey Kong Country uses 3D pre-rendered models.
That's kind of also what I got an impression of, but I assumed that they got inspiration elsewhere. So it was kind of odd, eh?
Mm-hmm. Well, it reminded me kind of Donkey Kong, and then also kind of like Sonic. Not just the speed, like some of those characters move fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like the mouse.
I think the mouse moves faster than Sonic, frankly.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, like he's going. Like, I thought at the very first level, you're moving around through these tunnels to get these little jewels. Very simple. But it was so long, and I was like, man, this is slow paced. And then I realized you can hold down one of the buttons like in Donkey Kong Country to move a little faster as you move, and you're going I would dare say 3 times as fast as DK does.
Well, and there's like jet engine, like not jet engines, but like in certain sections you go even faster, just like turbo boosters.
That's right. That's right.
So it's almost too fast, really. Like, he's unwieldy fast.
Yes.
But I guess it reminded me of Sonic in the sense, not necessarily the speed, even though later on there are like pipes that like send him shooting through almost like Sonic. Yeah. In some of the later levels, but the level design in general, where it's like almost multi-tiered, where there's by going higher in the level, there'd be more treasure. Yes. But the actual correct path is usually lower. That's kind of how Sonic's level design works, where not falling to lower levels is more lucrative in terms of lives and rings and such.
Yeah, you want to be going up.
Yeah. This seemed more like up wasn't really always an option to finish the level, but there was like you were motivated to try and go up to these secret areas. You know,
I was motivated for a portion of the game.
Exactly.
Until I noticed, okay, so you get more jewels to get more lives.
No.
You get bonus.
Yes, because there's the 2 bonuses. There's the clay bonus, and then there's the get X amount of jewels to activate the Mode 7 bouncing bonus.
Which then results with extra lives. At the end game is extra lives, so that's all you're getting.
Well, and score, which no one gives a shit about these days.
I don't think so. Yeah. I didn't really care. I just kind of want to see at the end of the game.
Well, also, if you die, you lose all your gems. It's not even just like a game over. If you die once, all your gems are gone.
Yes. Yeah. So, but then you have infinite continue, so there's not really a drive to stay alive and make sure you save enough lives, because you're just gonna be able to come back alive.
The only drawback to dying like game over is you have to restart without your checkpoints each level, and with certain levels, I don't know if you got to Fungal Jungle.
No, the farthest I got to was Japan.
Yeah, World 3. 3.
World 3
was Japan.
It was Japan, yeah.
Yeah. No, it was World 2, wasn't it?
No, World 2 was the some kind of like harbor.
Oh, correct. Yes, and World 3 was Japan.
Yeah.
World 4 was Africa.
Oh, you go to Africa.
And once you beat, spoiler alert for Claymates. Once you beat the villain.
Oh, the main villain. Okay.
You find out that even though you've rescued your father, you still need a serum. And the serum has been taken by the Martians in space. Oh. So you go to, Eggman's space fort. Yeah. And there's 2 levels up there in space.
Well, that's kind of cool.
And the second one was another nitpick of mine, where it's the clay boy jumps, or Clayton, that's his name, jumps into a rocket. And it becomes like a shmup, like space shooter, which is a cool twist, except it's the final level. And then you use that to beat the final boss. Which is frustrating to me, because it kind of reminded me of Star Fox Adventures, where it's very much like a Zelda game. Yeah. But you fight the last boss in an R-Wing, which you've barely done up to that point.
And then why wouldn't we be doing that the whole game? At least in this, talking about Star Fox Adventures.
Yeah.
But in this game, it's kind of odd.
To give you a new mechanic, which is then it's totally different from anything you've been doing. Not even just like, you have a new move. It's just a totally different kind of game for the final level.
With this kind of game, I don't care too much.
Fair enough.
At that point, it's just like, okay, something different. We're almost there. This is almost done.
And that's the thing, man. Once I got to Fungal Jungle, which was World 3, about halfway through. Four. At that point, I've been playing it straight, because we played this on the Nintendo Switch, on the Nintendo Online service, which it gave me the ability to use save states, which I avoided because it's technically cheating until I got to Fungal Jungle.
Oh, you couldn't resist the temptation.
Well, here's the thing. I could get to this point 5 minutes in the level, and then I would die from something stupid a few times and have to go back and do the whole thing again. Yeah. And it's like, I know I can beat this part of the level, so I might as well skip it. That's a little mini rant on whether or not save states are actually cheating. Oh, wow. So from that point, I was a little more generous with the save states, and that's how I was able to beat Fungal Jungle, and then the final space mission was where I used it a lot as well. Because I kind of want to see what was going to happen, right? But Fungal Jungle in particular was when it stopped being kind of linear with a few side options and became where the hell do I go kind of game.
Oh, really?
Because they would use like teleporters that just kind of send you to random spots.
Oh, that's kind of just...
Or like, here's a teleport, jump in. Right back to the beginning of the level. Should have jumped in that teleporter.
Yeah.
No way to know.
Kind of just really filler. Just
kind of... Yeah,
crunching more hours in from you. It's a long game.
Not avoidable issues, just bullshit issues.
Well, and then that's when you allowed yourself to.
And that's why I said the game started good.
Back. Yeah,
and then as you went on, the little issues cropped up.
Speaking of the beginning of the game, one thing that I found was really unique about this was when you're in the overworld view.
Oh, the puzzles.
The puzzles. That's being generous.
Oh, like by the end they become puzzles.
Oh, really? They get harder.
They're tricky, yeah.
Okay, well, I was more just fascinated. Like, it reminded me of Super Mario 3.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yes.
And then the other thing too was just, every level you beat, you get these robots that need axes to chop bombs to chop through. But once they get through, they commit their lives, their full function to it, because then they're gone. Then you gotta get new robots.
I mean, they're programmed to do that.
Yeah, but what happens? They're using an axe to cut down a tree. Did the tree fall on them? Now they're dead. Or did these bombs are like they got a 1 second grace period? It's
that makes sense.
Yeah, there's no remote detonation. It's just
they are the remote detonation.
But you're going through like someone's yard. I can't remember the second level was like in the first world.
Yeah,
the second
your neighbor's yard.
Yeah, it's like Tim's yard. But then now we're out of the yards. We're into like the Pacific Ocean.
And then Japan.
And then we go to Japan. It's like, this is quite the journey.
Yeah. Oh, and then, Africa, then space.
So there's 5 levels.
Yeah, I'd say like 4.5 worlds, because the fifth one is only 2 levels, whereas most of them, I believe, are 4, with the bosses.
Yeah.
Which was another thing. I found some of the bosses interesting.
The bosses, yeah.
Visually, they're very cool, actually.
Yes, they are.
And some of them seemed impossible until I realized the bosses themselves had no hitboxes, only their projectiles. So you could stand in the boss, no issues. Like not just touch him, you could stand in him.
You can be inside the boss.
Yes.
Wow.
And they don't hurt you. So that's how I beat most of the bosses, just cheap shit like that. Like, I'd find out where their bullets very rarely, projectiles.
Yeah.
Very rarely, like, the corner of the screen, it doesn't see, almost like a screensaver logic, that Windows screensaver that bounces.
Yeah.
One of the bosses has lasers like that, and it's like, well, very rarely does that screensaver hit the corner, right? So the corner's the safest place to be.
You know what? Like, this is very much a video game because, I'm starting to think about it now. What is the point of these bosses? Like, what are they there for? What are we doing here?
Well, they're big clay animals in your way to get to the next robots.
But what investment do they have to prevent Clayton from trying to save his father? Like, what are they working with the aliens?
I don't know. I don't think the game ever gets into that. You're right, though. It's like there's no logic, but I don't know if you expect that from Claymates.
Well, if you're starting off with this narrative about, like, your father getting kidnapped, there's a serum, why not just, have a tiki boss or something who's possessing these clay monsters or something, like in Donkey Kong Country Returns,
I was thinking about that.
Just a little touch. But maybe it's like, well, you think there's Crash Bandicoot. There's Donkey Kong Country Returns for the tiki villains.
Yeah, tiki-tack tribe.
Yeah, we don't see too many tiki bosses then you got Majora's Mask.
Odala, yeah.
Yeah.
So tikis are a recurring motif in these games.
Yeah. I don't know why. I guess they look pretty interesting and
they have that mean face. Like, that's their default. Is generally like big teeth and kind of arched eyes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I don't know how much time we have, but the one thing I really want to touch on is my biggest gripe with the game, which occurred later on, was hitboxes for your character. It seemed like being the clay, it was annoying that you because he's a amorphous ball, you don't know which way he's looking, so his fist attack comes out one side or the other.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to know which way you are moving. So if you have to quickly turn around, you don't know if you've turned around in time.
Yeah.
And then also, sometimes you get like the cat or any other power-up, and they'd be kind of big and unwieldy. I've run into situations where there'd be enemies in small sections, and there's no way for the cat to fit down and swipe without getting hit. Or the minute you get the fish for the first time, he's like the hardest fish section in the entire game is the first time you get him. Then after that, you have a chance to kind of breathe.
Frankly, I find that the second or third level of each world is just like the level they're trying to make you give up on.
Maybe.
Because I found like the second, like, the first in the Pacific, first level, this is fine, this is okay. Then I got to the second one and it just died and died. It's the one with the boat. There's a little boat that you can go on. And you take that boat, and the boat is just a death trap. It's a death sentence. You shouldn't stay on that boat. There's no point of going on the boat.
Yeah, I think I swam.
Yeah, don't.
Because the clay ball is actually a very good swimmer. He's almost just as efficient in the water as the fish.
Probably, yeah. The cat can't swim. I don't know about the duck.
I don't think the duck can swim either.
Yeah, probably.
There's not really situations with the duck in the water. You don't get him too often. Or the gopher, which we should mention. There's a gopher in the game.
Oh, the gopher, I used to waste the first boss, but I didn't see the gopher for a while after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing.
Is it a gopher?
I think it's a gopher.
Yeah.
It could be a chipmunk. Who knows?
They kind of, at the beginning of the game, they showed a little lineup of, here are the heroes. But, wow, that doesn't make any sense either. Like, think of this. You get your one of the clay animals, and then you absorb another clay ball, and now you can use that clay ball as a projectile.
Yes, I was about to say, I kind of like that.
Well, that's about it for Time Attack for this episode.
So I guess what we can do, once that's done there, is... So you said you liked the game?
I liked the game.
And would you recommend it to others?
I would. If you like platforming, if you like old school Super Nintendo games, this might be worth an afternoon just to play something a little more cheery and quaint.
Yeah, it's definitely a flawed experience. It's no Mario, but I don't think anyone should expect that. And currently, if you have Nintendo Switch Online, and you can play it at no extra cost, and it's definitely said worth an afternoon of just mucking about.
If you like that, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Time Attack.
Whew, that's probably a cut.
Yeah, probably.
Time over!